Okay. Hi, my name is Cecilia Hasso. My group member is student Adhikari, if I'm saying it right, and Bashant.
Yeah.
And one of our group members is unavailable right now, but it's Negron. So I'll be going over what parts did he help out, and he will be doing his individual contribution as well. So basically, for our final project, we had to go over the Raspberry Pi cluster, and some of our challenges was to basically allow the node to join the swarm because it kept on timing out, and it attempted to join, but it basically just aborted it. So, Sudip, do you want to go ahead and take over?
Sure. Hi. Okay. For this project, we choose the project one to use the different Raspberry Pi and create a cluster to show the example of cluster computing. For that, let me tell you something about cluster computing. Cluster computing it refers to that many computers connected on a network, and they perform like a single entity. Each computer that is connected to a network is called a node. Cluster computing offers a solution to solve complicated problem, providing faster and computational speed and enhanced data integrity. For this project, we have to gather around and get all of our Pi. We check the IP address of all of our Pi and make sure that every Pi is connected through the SHS. We change the host name so that will be easy for us to get access with the node. I think we'll take over from here.
Okay, Bashant,
Um,
we
for
start on step one.
step one and step two.
Which one did you go over, Sudip?
Step two.
You do step one.
Okay. Bashant, do step one.
The first step for this project was to install the Docker shell script.
Mhm.
We had to install the Docker into the Raspberry Pi to create our own SAM cluster,
Swarm.
Swarm cluster.
Mhm.
So, uh, so they,
So
me and all.
basically for that, we had to create that without the swarm, then we wouldn't be able to allow different nodes to enter and basically create one big computer basically overall. So for step two, since we didn't have any root users, we basically didn't have any of the commands to do sudo docker and do the following commands. So for this one, the following code in step two was to allow the Raspberry Pi to run Docker commands. Sudip?
Okay. When we were assessing the IP address, we did make one Raspberry Pi a managed script joining with the sudo docker som initiate advertise and the IP address of it. But when we were trying to connect it, it's saying permission denied because and we really didn't know what happened, and we got stuck there for some time. Then we found an article that helped us to fix that problem. And what we did in there was we added a Docker group, and we changed the current user to the Docker group, and we switched the session to the Docker group. And then we run an example as a test that says Docker run hello world, and it says hello from the Docker. That's how we get to know that the Docker is working properly on our computers. Uh, then the code that we get from our main manager computer, then we put that on the different Raspberry Pi that we had, and it works like a charm. And we can see the we can see other Raspberry Pi got connected on there.
Okay, and then Bashant, you want to go ahead and go over step four?
I think I go to step 6. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so Deep explained earlier. We had issue connecting our pies because it said our permission was denied. So we found an article which helped us to connect our the Pi as a worker node. To get the permission, we had to follow these following steps. We had to add a Docker group, sudo group add Docker, and adding a current user to the Docker group. And we had to switch the session to the Docker group. And finally, we are able to connect the pies.
Mhm. And then for step 4, that's just basically the code that was given to us after we did step 2, because it basically gave us the Docker swarm join code that we needed to allow the different nodes or workers into the manager, which was in this case was students Raspberry Pi, and the rest of us we were workers. So then after that, as we said before, we had to test them all just to make sure that they were working properly. So we had to test the code of hello world, and if it spit out hello world, then basically we knew that it was working properly. Student?
So after we saw the other workers node connected on our Raspberry Pi, then to make sure that it's to run our first service, we went to the Google Chrome and put the IP address of our manager Raspberry Pi with the 8080 on it. Then we can see a display of saying that what are the name of the Raspberry Pi got connected in there, and the manager, I mean, which node is working as a manager or a worker, and how much memory they had, and we can see that from a browser, and that's how we get to know that all of the Raspberry Pi that we had and the worker node is connected now as a supercomputer.
Yeah. Okay, what else? So we were able to figure out if the nodes did enter the swarm, which was sudo's Raspberry Pi. So we just did sudo docker node ls, and it gave us the following. In a screenshot, you'll see that in sudo, we basically named them all sudo as the host name, so that it'd be easier for us to know which one went through or which one didn't. So in this case, student Pi was the manager, and then you'll see the other 2 Raspberry Pis connected. And then, so student, do you want to go over the problem and the solution in that second page from Google document?
I already explained that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
So
touched,
that's basically
but he can
what
wrap it
happened
up
was
if he wants to.
it didn't allow us to join as a worker node for the other. Then we tried to we tried to um, switch the session to a Docker group, and then we change the current user to the Docker group. That's how we get the permission at the last, and that's how it get connected.
Mm-hmm. And then, Vishan, do you want to go over the functionality on page 2?
For the functionality, the overall functionality of the Docker Swarm is to convert all the Raspberry Pi into one computer making that manager. This was particularly asked in the project by the professor, and it can be used to improve the performance, processing large data, and mining.
Mm-hmm. And then the following sources is what we use to perform the task that was needed for this project, which will be submitted as well. And if there's anything else, guys, you guys want to just explain?
It was
I
a
think
nice
I
expert.
think we did it, and
Yeah, thanks to Sudeep, Cecilia, everyone being this project.
Yeah.
It was a nice
and I
experience.
would like to add that Roland, Rolando, he helped us to get those different sources. He helped to get those pages from where we can follow the steps. even though
Yeah.
he's not here, he did contributed as well on this project.
And he'll be doing his individual contribution later. But right now, due to his work issue, he couldn't be here with us at Zoom meeting. But he totally contributed to this project. So
Yeah.
we all are happy with him and with the team.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording because that was so weird.